Hey, so Marie and I are here in the park in Madrid. I'm running my half marathon tomorrow, so I've got my half marathon stuff. We're gonna go try to find a good place to sit down, try to get some food. Then we're gonna talk a little politics. So this week started off with a bang.
Today, I am announcing that I'm running for President of the United States. It is a time for truth.
Yeah, that's right. Ted Cruz is now running for president. He's the first one to jump in the race. I think it's actually pretty cool how he did it. Usually these candidates, they bumble around. They announce that they're thinking about considering forming a committee to explore the possibility of one day running for president. And I like how Ted Cruz just jumped right in. I have to give him credit as well because I'm under the impression that his speech at Liberty University was also completely improvised, which I actually think is pretty impressive. He's a good speaker. However, also starting a campaign so quickly was a disadvantage in some ways. So, for example, he stumbled a couple times with media appearances, once on CNN when he was talking about Obamacare.
So she's taking an unpaid leave of absence from her job, and so we're transitioning. We'll be getting new health insurance, and we'll presumably do it through my job in the Senate, and so we'll be on the federal exchange like millions of others on the federal exchange.
Another time on Fox News with Megyn Kelly.
Time in the Senate, this is what some of your critics point to. They say, yes, you've led the fight on certain issues, but what have you actually accomplished?
Where she asked, what have you really accomplished? And he had some issues there. So he obviously stumbled a little bit. And then also, I was listening to Rachel Maddow the other day. I listened to her podcast, and she was saying how TedCruz.com, TedCruz2016.com, and TedCruzForPresident.com were all different websites that had nothing to do with Ted Cruz. Like one was just a website with like stagnant photos on it, and another one was like an Obamacare website. So like that was a little bit of a rough rollout. But these are things I assume that will get solved really quickly. Now Ted Cruz has some other problems going for him, which I'm going to talk about. I'm going to split this up into three different ways to talk. One, I'm going to talk about the politics of the situation. So is he a viable candidate? Two, I'm going to talk about his policies. So are his policies good for the country? And three, I'm just going to talk on a personal level. I really struggled when I was thinking about what to say about Ted Cruz because personally, I don't like the guy. But I wanted to approach this in a reasonable way. So I've divided it into three. And the last bit, the personal bit, will be where I kind of come after him a little bit. Before I move on, just look at where we are. It's beautiful here. It's the first real sunny day here in Madrid. And you got the skyline all behind me. And you've got Plaza Mayor, which is a real famous place where the bullfights used to be. The towers you see in the background are really close to where I live, actually. Those are the two biggest skyscrapers in the center of Madrid. And they're really close to the palace, which is kind of harder to see over to the right. It's the equivalent of Buckingham Palace for the English, but here in Madrid. Okay, so first I want to talk a little bit about his political viability. The biggest challenge for Ted Cruz is not energy. He's got energy. He's got people from the Tea Party behind him. His first and foremost problem is, I think, fundraising, because he's dipping his hand into a pot that's already been dipped in a couple times. First, you've got the Bush family with Jeb Bush running. He's going to be fundraising in Texas and reliably counting on George W. Bush donors. So those are Texas donors that Ted Cruz might need that won't be there for him. If he wants to go, for example, to the Koch brothers or to these establishment corporate types, he's got an issue as well because these are the people that are going to be giving money to Scott Walker and to establishment candidates. And then you factor in that even Rick Perry is going to run a second time, and he is a former governor of Texas. You basically got, sure, he's going to take his piece of the pie, but is he going to be above and beyond? Absolutely not. Maybe, then second of all, where can he actually win? So where's the Tea Party big, yeah? So you've got South Carolina, you've got Iowa, New Hampshire. These are the first few primary states, and it seems like Iowa is his best chance at a shot. So he could maybe eke out a win there. So in what states can Ted Cruz actually win? The only place I can see him picking up a good percentage of the vote is Iowa, which, as we know, is going to be a big clusterfuck. You've got so many different people running in Iowa right now that it's going to be hard for anyone to get a plurality, much less a majority. But, you know, it's been done before. Mike Huckabee did it in 2008 and surprised everyone with an upset in Iowa over Mitt Romney, I believe, who came in second. So these are possibilities. But going forward from Iowa, despite the amount of energy and maybe money that Ted Cruz has accumulated, I don't see him winning in New Hampshire. And South Carolina is Bush territory, or maybe Lindsey Graham territory. He might be entering the race this week. So these are places where Ted Cruz probably will not flourish. And so I see it difficult for him to pick up delegates going forward. So in the actual Republican primary, that's difficult as well. So first you have fundraising as a problem, the primary itself is a problem, and then third, let's just say he beats all the odds and makes it to the general election. But can he actually win? No. I think any reasonable person would say no. Even someone who maybe is supportive of Ted Cruz. He said too many crazy things, or he's just too far out there. And I don't think he would resonate well. He's a dream of Democrats. I mean, that's a guarantee win for them, no matter who the Democrats put up, unless it's like the reincarnation of Karl Marx. So I think that Ted Cruz has a definite problem, even if the ticket were to be someone else on top and Ted Cruz as vice president. Okay, so now from a policy perspective, where is Ted Cruz? I think he's honestly kind of intellectually boring. Okay, so he's from this Tea Party wing of the Republican Party, far right, and his entire career is based upon opposing things, wanting to cut the IRS, cut Medicaid, cut Social Security, cut Medicare, or cut Obamacare, for example, and repeal that law. And I find that to be intellectually dishonest and quite boring. It appeals to a donor base, of course. It appeals to libertarian-style donors like the Koch brothers, but any practical person, anyone who really wants to get things done, who really wants to take on the office of the president and not just be some fiery senator, has to have other policy positions. Because we all know deep down, I think even most conservatives realize that you can't just rip away welfare programs, even if that were the right thing to do, which it's not. Third, on a personal level, how do I feel about Ted Cruz? Do I feel like he's a genuine candidate? Do I feel like he really wants to be president, or does he simply want to just make a name for himself? And on this point, I'm not so sure. So I'm a liberal. I'm biased. I'm not prone to really like Ted Cruz. Okay, but I don't even see him as a genuine person. And I know that's like a gut feeling, right? And I'm sure that many conservatives would say the same thing about liberal candidates like Hillary. And well, actually, with Hillary, I might agree. She doesn't seem that genuine. The point I'm making here is that I see Ted Cruz and I see someone who's really just saying what his donors want to hear. And I don't hear someone who's proposing new ideas and standing on principle. I see someone who is just pandering. He's a pandering panda, Ted Cruz is. Ted Cruz is well-spoken, but he won't be cruising to victory.